Four Nights of the Apocalypse Volume 16 is out in Japan, which means we not only get some brand new pieces of information in the extras, but we also got an extra chapter, or a bonus chapter, that Nakaba tends to do at the end of each volume, whether it being very short stories or skits involving the main cast members, being either one-offs or even just some canon events that he couldn't put into the main story for whatever reason. And this one, we got part 1 of Searching for Her Star, which is a story detailing Thetis' early life, and full-on confirmation that Thetis is indeed the reincarnation of Derieri, like we all thought. But before we jump into things, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. Honestly, I was not expecting to make a video like this until we got more parts, but I just wanted to jump on this real quick as I am very excited to see this fully confirmed, and I just want to get into this and maybe make this a series depending on when these little bonus chapters come out. Now, before we jump fully into things, I just want to say this. We've all basically thought that Thetis was Derieri due to a couple of context clues. One, the fact that she seemingly knew who Gundam and Lascaux were at the end of the Leonis arc, Lancelot's comments of calling her a hag, her familiarity, and also how she interacts with Meliodas and Elizabeth, and the fact that her design is fairly similar to Derieri and a version of Derieri from basically other Nakaba works, especially in AU1 where she is in high school and wears a similar looking dress. So it's needless to say that the idea that Thetis was the reincarnation of Derieri, considering that Elizabeth and Mael use a spell to reincarnate the souls of Ozo and Derieri after their deaths, so they can have a second chance at life with all of their memories. We were expecting the reincarnation of Derieri to show up at some point, and she is now not only the same age as the main characters in Four Nights, essentially the strongest magic user and prominent magic user in Leonis, and answers directly to Meliodas and Elizabeth. So that is very interesting to see, and now we're going to be getting instances of her early life. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into this bonus chapter. Looking for Her Star, Part 1. This starts off during the aftermath of the Holy War, where a young Golgius is searching the area, as this was right before the Holy War ended and before present time. He comes across a village that was early destroyed in the battle, and it goes on to question that this was the world that the two great holy knights envisioned, back when Hendrickson and Dreyfus were essentially possessed and were leading the holy knights in a rebellion and wanted to restart the Holy War. Golgius ends up hearing something in the rubble and sees a young mother holding her infant daughter, seemingly newly born, as she is just barely clinging to life. She grabs onto him and asks him to take care of her child, as he says, "How am I supposed to take care of a child?" as the mother dies, saying, "I beg you." Golgius ends up getting up and leaving, as he just left the baby there in her mother's arms. As he says, "If there's anything to resent, it's the time and place you were born into. No, resent yourself for asking someone such as me." And as he walks away, he hears the baby begin to cry, and he stops in his tracks. Some time stops, and he is cleaning diapers, as he ended up taking in the baby Thetis, and is just starting to slowly take care of her, as just the laughing infant that he took care of is just giving him a bit of happiness now. After some comedic scenes that I'm not going to get into, and meeting some woman from a village that's helping take care of Thetis for a second, he then is told what is her name, as he is thinking of the name. We then jump forward in time a little bit longer, as Golgius is using his invisibility powers to play peekaboo with the young toddler Thetis, who is just starting to walk and also form sentences and speak, as we get snippets of Golgius and Thetis' early lives, as he is taking care of her and raising her. As one day when he's preparing dinner, he tells Thetis to put her book away. And as Thetis is reading, she asks Golgius if he was a holy knight in the castle, and why he doesn't work there anymore. Golgius solemnly smiles and says, "There were circumstances. No, it wasn't it. Your dad believed in what was right and did nothing but bad things. Thanks to that, I became the kingdom's wanted person. I'm despicable." As it's referring to back when he was a part of the Weird Fangs, and he was doing a lot of very despicable and, let's just say, bad shit. and murderous stuff as well, based off the orders. And let's be honest, he did kind of revel in the freedom to an extent, but towards the start of the Commandments saga, he was slowly becoming a better person, realizing his mistakes, and just went away from the kingdom, as Golgius ended up slowly getting a bit of redemption for himself. Anyway, after hearing what he said, Thetis goes on to say that she'll go and ask the queen in order to have him work at the castle again, as Golgius thinks back to when he first met Elizabeth, as she says, as long as I am alive, I can fight and protect people for their sake, and share their hardships and sadness. In all honesty, I kind of miss when Elizabeth had these nice speeches and actually tried to act on them. That is something that I do like about Elizabeth's character, though I wish she did more stuff like that. I'm projecting my own feelings of like missed opportunity with Elizabeth into this section, but that's not neither here nor there. This is an aspect of Elizabeth's character that I and many others really like. We just wish we saw a bit more of that. But Golgius, presuming that to just be the ramblings of a very caring child, says, "You brought that up all of a sudden. You've never seen Lady Elizabeth, let alone met her, have you?" But the young Thetis says, "Yeah, I have. I did a long time ago," as this confuses Golgius. Some more time passes, they're having dinner, and he realizes his meat is half-baked, and Thetis says hers is as well. She whispers some sort of chant, and then a huge fireball appears, surprising Golgius as she just completely burns her food to ash. As this surprises Golgius, as Thetis can use magic, and pretty powerful magic itself, at a young age, as Thetis just considers this not that big of a deal. And Golgius is very surprised that she can use magic. Thetis, surprised at how she can use magic, says it seems like this body can use it. And she starts jumping around, punching and kicking, saying that I would beat my enemies with punches and kicks in my previous body. I already knocked down Meliodas, the Leonis king, as Golgius laughs and says, "Oh, so you kicked around that monster, huh? Well, are you talking about those weird dreams you've been having lately? If I recall correctly, in one of your dreams you were a demon and killed by one of the 4 archangels, weren't you?" As in the background we see an image of Derieri and a bunch of demons in the background, referring to when Derieri was killed by, well, Mael, Estarossa, full psycho berserker mode when he was taking in all those commandments in that big kind of complex mind-effing that was the Mael twist, which I still think was a very good twist at the end of the day. And yeah, so Derieri essentially is Thetis, and she's been having dreams of her previous life, and she fully remembers everything that's happened. After Golgius talks about those dreams that she's been having, she goes on to says, "Yes, I've been looking for my star since then, the star that set me free." As Thetis just holds out her hand and says, "The trick star," with a wholesome smile on her face, ending the bonus chapter. So yeah, Derieri officially Thetis 100% confirmed, and now a part of her whole thing is that she wants to find her star. She wants to find Moonspeed, as she most likely believes that he might have been reincarnated just like her. Now, for those of us that go back to 7 Deadly Sins, Moonspeed was never used in a reincarnation spell, so the chances of him being reincarnated are very slim. Not to mention, back when Arthur first showed up in Leonis with the whole collage of different characters and people that were being shown loved ones, Moonspeed was hidden somewhere in the corner, so we all kind of figured that Derieri's reincarnation was somewhere in Leonis. And now we got this right here. And what makes this even better is that this is only part 1 of a multi-part mini-story. Now, do I think this should have been a full-length flashback in the main manga for when we at some point get focused on Thetis and how she will pertain to the main plot and help the main cast? Yes, obviously. This is something that I both love and hate about 7 Deadly Sins, is the fact that there are so many side stories and extra content in the volumes that would have been great additions to the main series that would have helped flesh out characters and their relationships, but for whatever reason Nakaba didn't really have much time originally, and so we added these things onwards. And the thing that sucks about these moments is that unless the anime staff really cares to dive into this stuff, we won't even get to see this animated. And that's something I do kind of hope Four Knights does, and takes these little side chapters and make little filler moments, or essentially filler episodes. I know I say filler, but it's all canon. just to add in more moments of the main cast interacting, having fun, and adding more character moments, as well as fleshing certain things out for different characters. That's something I kind of hope the Four Knights anime does, and I hope once this Derieri Thetis flashback / origin is finished in the manga, we end up getting it as like a full-on episode or a half episode in the anime whenever we decide to focus on Thetis. Now there's always a possibility that Nakaba will redo this little backstory, maybe shorter, in the main manga whenever we get focus on Thetis again, but that's a story for another time, and that's only pure speculation. Either way, I am very, very happy that we're getting more insight into Thetis, and obviously the confirmed, incredibly obvious reveal that Thetis is Derieri. Now, what will happen after this? I got no clue, and I'm not entirely sure if we'll get this in Volume 17, but I do hope we get the next part in Volume 17. But what did you guys think of this little mini chapter? Do you like that we're getting more stuff on Thetis? Are you finally relieved that we got full-on confirmation that Thetis is Derieri, and now we can actually explore this and see how she was like growing up? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, as well as the fact, do you think Moonspeed was reincarnated, or do you think Arthur's going to try and manipulate Thetis with her past memories and life with a fake Moonspeed at some point in the future if he figures out who she truly is? I kind of expect something like that to happen, but you never really know. Now, with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed talking about this. I might talk about more side chapters in certain moments, and I might follow this little Thetis adventure as more of these come out. But with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.